It's the Sumo Show. Weekly podcast discusses everything that's going on in Japanese Grand Sumo. Whether you've been steeped in sumo lore since the Heisei era, like me and or you're a dedicated fan who wants to get deeper into what's happening on and off the dohyo, or you're brand new to the world of sumo and just want to learn what it's all about, like our friend Troy. No matter how much you know about the sport, the Sumo Show has something for you. So let's throw some purifying salt into the ring, do a few big Shiko foot stomps, and see what's new on this week's episode of the Sumo Show. So. Konnichiwa, everyone. And Okaedi, welcome back, welcome home to my good friend Troy.
How to do?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Greetings, as they say.
As they do say, I do say they say that.
I say, it's said.
I say, it is said. I am currently, I got lost a little bit in our Facebook group because there's so many great things that you've been posting that I missed.
Oh?
Yeah, you just post good stuff over there.
I post stuff, yes. Facebook group, fun place to be. I post
Feisty Masters,
things.
bold new approach.
Yes, that was an interesting one. An interesting Sumo Primetime.
Yeah.
Sumo Primetime, really good show. Really good show. Hiro is he puts together interesting stuff and makes it very accessible.
You know, I'm also noticing that we've got some people who appear to either be they're very attractive women from Japan.
From Japan is, you know what? I noticed that we got a bunch of people that were applying whose name was basically Mary and Sheila only in Japanese. I was like, all right, that's maybe not real, but
yeah, it may not be, but yeah, they might be bots. They might not be catfishers.
They, you know what? But the fact that they all are just a single given name repeated twice in hiragana makes me more than a little dubious.
Yeah, I'm a little dubious myself.
I haven't even looked. Are all their photos gorgeous, good-looking young women?
Yes, very attractive young women. Just living their best lives.
Well, I can hardly blame them. I am quite a catch.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah. So we add that kind of activity to the Facebook group as well.
Well, then I'll be spending more time in the Facebook group.
Right. Yeah. So prepare your catfishing.
Here we go. Hello, Keiko.
Hello, Sally. Yeah. No, but I just noticed that just now. But I got a little lost there, and make sure that if you are certainly you're listening to this, you are no doubt already plugged in. But if you're like, hey, what's the what? Well, it's the Facebook group, and you can find it by looking up the Sumo Show. I'm going to make sure we're connected here real quick because I'm not seeing the video like I should do. And
oh, it's always something.
Oh yeah, no, okay, I guess it's a going.
We're going? Okay. Great. Well, then awesome. I guess we should do something then.
We should ought to. But yes, hello to Facebook, and we're going to be paying attention to your chat as well. We don't want you to think that we're not listening. That includes you, Yuki.
Oh, Yuki. They were my favorite group in the 90s.
Same.
I could not get enough of Yuki.
I love it. Yeah, Akibasho Banzuke.
Yeah, so the hard to believe it's already time for another tournament.
I know you and I were at the Haya. You and I were at the Haya training the recruits, and I went Bonzooks. It's the Akibasho Banzuke.
Bonzooks there. Oyakata. You got to get us ready for the Basho. We got a Basho to go show.
It's a Basho. Yeah. And we broke out into a musical number.
Yeah, which was great.
It was
It's
fun.
very,
It was really
the
fun.
play of the dohyo is very good for musical theater.
It really is. Yeah, it's got a nice resonance.
Yeah, it's got a nice give. Not so good for tap numbers, but
No, no, but great for slapstick.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
which is what our show's.
modern and jazz are great on.
They really are. They really are. You should see us perform Chicago.
That's
It's
right.
breathtaking. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Yeah. The gun, the gun, yeah. I got that on
And
the
all
brain
that
today.
sumo.
When all that sumo is that cabaret?
All
Is all that jazz? Is all that jazz Chicago or is it
that
cabaret?
jazz is the opening number in Chicago.
It's been a while since we performed it for everyone in the dojo.
All that jazz is the opening number in Chicago, and also the name of the semi-autobiographical movie
Liza Minnelli,
about Bob Fosse.
Bob Fosse. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Bob Fosse has a style, huh? He does his thing.
Oh yeah, Bob Fosse. Well, this is suddenly going to become the musical theater show.
That's right.
Bob Fosse for sure had a style. But
But yes,
it's funny all the things that we can speak knowledgeably on.
Yeah, yeah. Really, the depth and breadth of that list is pretty impressive.
It is. It is. We are Renaissance men in a modern.
We
age.
are Renaissance men. Yes. Hey, I got to mute myself for just 1 second.
Okay. Well, then I'm just going to talk to myself. The Banzuke came out on Monday, and that was very exciting. Got a list of here. We're going to be looking at what the rankings are and talking about it. Because we are now less than 2 weeks away from the kickoff of the Nagoya Basho, the fall Grand Sumo tournament being held in Tokyo, beginning on the 8th. So very, very soon. This is as early as a Banzuke will start, the 8th of September. And, of course, it'll go for 2 weeks, and that'll be fun. We will have lots of sumo to talk about. See, I thought when Troy said he needed to do something, he was just going to be gone momentarily, but he's gone, just leaving me to ramble on my own, and I can do that. Yeah. So we've I've got some sumo news too. Not sure. I'm hoping Troy is listening to this at least, so that he can come in and say, "Hey, go over that again." But
Yeah, hey, go over that again.
welcome back.
Sorry about that. Neighbor kids knocking on the door wanting autographs.
Oh well, who can blame them?
Yeah, yeah.
Not now, neighbor kid. I'm on the internet.
I am doing a program on the internet, streaming live to Facebook.
So the summer tour, the summer Jungyo went on. There were a whole lot of people who were absent from the summer Jungyo. We talked about that. All the people who were injured at the end of the last tournament didn't go, and some of them that we didn't know, were that badly injured, took some time off. So Teruno Fuji, our Yokozuna, missed almost all the Jungyo. He was there but didn't perform. He did some stretching, and it was around the dojo during the warm-up practices, but didn't do any actual training fights at all. He left the tour for a few days because he had to go back to Tokyo for treatment on his knees. One of his knees in particular isn't feeling well. And so I will talk about that in a bit, but it's not really looking very likely that he's going to be participating this time. He hasn't said anything about it, but just how long it takes him to get ready these days and all the time he's missed makes that seem unlikely.
And doesn't it feel like it's time for him to say farewell?
Well, it seems, I don't know. I mean, it's so weird. It sure seems like he should do that, but there are so many different pressures put on him from different angles, right? When it looked like we had up and comers in the Ozeki who were ready to rise to the top, the pressure was okay, time for you to get out of the way. But with the collapse of the current Ozeki class,
Yeah.
now the pressure is more like, you can take a tournament off. You don't have to go. You want to just
Yeah.
only when you're ready.
Wow. How quickly things change.
Yeah, yeah. So in the end, it always is going to come down to him, and I just don't know how much longer uh, he can do
Keep
it.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
part of it, in order to get to Yokozuna, and given what his career was, right, all the terrible injuries that knocked him down, the Bansuke, he had to fight his way back. Um, he's the kind of guy who's not going to give up until he has to. But
Yeah.
wow, I mean, I think one of the things that eggs him on is the fact that when he comes back, he still beats every freaking body. Like
Yeah.
they still can't beat him, no matter how beat up he is.
Right.
Um,
Right.
which is one of the things that we saw with Hakuho towards the end of his career too, until he hurt himself so badly that he almost quit in the middle of his last Basho because he was just so
He
much.
was
The
pushing it too
I
hard.
mean,
Yeah.
word has come out afterwards that he knew like by day 7, and he almost just retired because he was in a lot of pain. But he stuck it out. He was undefeated, and I think my personal guess is that was one of the things that kept him going. It's like, well, not until when they beat me, I can say I hurt
It's over.
something
Yeah.
getting beaten. But he kept beating people, and then the end was in sight, and he could do it. He could get one more U show, and in fact, he went undefeated. He got his final win was a 15-0 Zensho U show, and then he retired like the next day.
Yeah, yeah. It feels to me like I thought that that's kind of what we were. We kind of speculated that anyway, but
Right, right.
yeah,
And
it did feel like.
I think that if Kirishima was still there and knocking on the door, like Hakuho did that. His last match of the tournament was against Teruno Fuji, and he beat him in a very dramatic fashion. And then he left, and Teruno Fuji got promoted to Yokozuna because he finished second in that tournament. And if we had been in a position like that, and it was also a July tournament, as it turns out, a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
dramatic things happen in July.
yeah.
And if that had happened, if Terunofuji had won this tournament and Kirishima was there on the verge of getting promoted to Yokozuna, and Terunofuji just defeated all comers, I think he probably would have looked at what Hakuho did and said that's the way to
And
go.
pulled the yeah.
Now he's got his win. There's no heir apparent anymore, and which means that now as I say, the pressure is beginning to get put back on him to don't rush out. You don't have to go if you don't want to, because we
Jeez.
want to have a Yokozuna.
Yeah, and I mean, it is funny that ebb and the flow. What you expect out of these athletes, even when they're in a.
And it really does put in stark relief the politics of sumo.
It
There's a lot of
does. It
politics,
does.
which is that shadowy organization part that you rail against, rightly
Yeah.
so. But
Yeah.
this is another angle of it, right?
It sure is. Yeah, it sure is.
So let's see. Speaking of injured people, Asanoyama, who at one point was someone everyone was talking about as probably the next Yokozuna.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he'll ever get back to being an Ozeki again. He tore his ACL last tournament and dropped out. He's fallen all the way out of the top division now. He's in Jurio, and he had his ACL surgery, and he's hoping to be back in January, which means that he will have fallen after missing this tournament and missing the November tournament. He will have fallen out of the second division too. He'll
Oh
probably be somewhere around
boy.
the middle of the third division, maybe the bottom of the third division, and he'll have to fight his way back again. And he's just getting older, and he's just collecting injuries along the way.
Sure is. Yeah. Wow, that was a
So
bummer.
yeah, on the one hand, well, we've been talking about this possibility for a long time. On the other hand, that's what happened to Teruno Fuji, right? He was out for like a year with surgeries and bad knees and everything, and fought his way back
So
to get Yokozuna. So there's now he was a little younger than Asanoyama is now, but not a lot. Um, so yes, there is hope, but we are not going to see Asanoyama again until mid to late next year, maybe this time next year or later. He's just out.
again, he essentially becomes a non-factor in all of this until he gets back and we see how he does and how he's
Yeah,
doing with
yeah.
this
Well, I mean,
injury. And
he will be followed because he's a big name guy. All the
yeah,
big name guys who drop down, we'll get news about him. Like you and I will be talking about him.
yeah.
But he will be a non-factor in any of the competition until he's back, till he earns his way back to the top division. Hopefully, like I say, next July or September. I can't see it happen any faster than that.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
so that's not good. I'm very sad to hear that.
Yeah, that is definitely a bummer.
Um,
So given that he's on the the injury list, is he still able to sort of draw benefits and be supported by the Sumo Association? Like, is he still?
well, as long as he's ranked in the top two divisions, he still draws his salary. Um, the uh, the the Rikishi get paid in a bunch of different ways. Each tournament that they appear on the Banzuke, there's a base salary they get, and then they get appearance fees also, and they get the money from their envelopes and special prizes and all the other stuff.
Gotcha.
But as long as you are in Juryo or Makiuchi, you are getting paid, even if you're injured. But once your ranking drops below Juryo, you're just like every other schnook trying to earn his way up into the paid ranks, and you're not getting paid.
Wow.
So yeah, he'll wind up. Now he's got endorsement deals and other things like that. He won't be without any income per se, but he certainly won't be making the money that he had been. And I don't know whether he's got kids. I think he's married.
Mostly I worry about just like the health care, you know what I mean? Like the specialized care that you need when you're.
Well, yes, everyone gets that because you're still part of the Sumo Association.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
So it's
no,
not like they just go,
he
sorry,
will
you
be
dropped
no,
out of
he'll
the.
be
Yeah.
just like a young guy who's just joined in and hasn't been
Okay.
able to. He will just join the ranks of people in the third or fourth division, and he'll get treated the same way any of them do. Probably a little better because he's a former Ozeki, but
Yeah, I'd imagine.
yeah. So that's kind of stinky.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Other people who are having possible injury. Mostly these are pains. They're not. Oh no, we got Onosho. Our buddy Onosho,
Yeah.
mid-level guy who likes to bounce up and down and never seems to do well when he's ranked high.
Yeah.
He had to have ankle surgery. He pulled out last tournament.
Oh.
Early on after hurting himself. He had to have ankle surgery, and in fact he had it during the tournament.
Oh wow.
They went, and while after he went Kyujo, he went back to Tokyo and got the surgery on his ankle. And He, however, declined to, while he was having surgery, to get. He was advised to have knee surgery,
Oh,
and he said no, no. And they say he's trying to get ready to enter this tournament.
oh no, no, no.
Yeah, yeah. So he had the ankle surgery. He's back. He's training. He says he's trying to get back to for the September tournament.
That would just be irresponsible.
Yeah, but he also dropped down. I'm not even sure where he's ranked now. He also dropped out of the top division. He is. I don't know. I don't know. I have to look it up, and I don't have that page ready. But he's down in Jurio somewhere. So he doesn't want to drop out, like kind of like Asanoyama, same kind of thing. You don't want to lose your salaried position, and if
Yeah.
he misses the whole tournament, chances are pretty good he would. And if he got knee surgery, he'd probably miss November too. So he's trying to come back just with the ankle repaired.
I just wonder how you have that conversation with a sumo wrestler to say, hey, these knees need some repair and replace, and
Well,
they
the
say
doc,
no.
yeah, well, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
They put it off until they can't, and then things have gotten so bad that the surgery is more severe and harder to come back.
And something, 10 times worse, and yeah. That's
this is not a news story. Sadly.
Yeah. I just imagine having that conversation, being the guy to say, well, we've got the option that you came in for, or the option plus pick any other joint.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the doctors will give them the advice that they would give any patient, but then they go back and they talk about it with their oyakata and they make their own decision.
Yeah.
I mean, these doctors are specialists who work with the Sumo Association a lot, so they're used to, like, we think you should do that.
I'm imagining,
and, no, doc, can't you just give me a shot?
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
My fighting spirit, though.
Yeah, can't you just give me some extra fighting spirit? That'll carry me through. See, who else? Kotozakura missed a few days during the tour because of lower back pain. Built the way he is, like, it's not surprising that was in his future somewhere, but apparently it's now something he's dealing with and is going to be dealing with. Just because he's a big, heavy guy who runs in and smacks other people with his body.
Right.
So there's no talk about him missing any part of the tournament, but there's some question about how heavily he can train, and and he's our best Ozeki. We're down to 2 Ozeki. We're going to see when we get to the Banzuke. I guess I'm kind of jumping that line there. But Hoshoryu, also having had that hip problem, was out. He missed the entire Jungyo. He missed the entire exhibition tour, because of his hip problems. Word is that he's come back and he's been training and doing practice matches this week. I haven't heard particularly how well he's doing, but they seem to be saying he's back and going for it.
Well, good for him. I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch that.
Yeah, another person who's all beat up and has to pull out of like every other tournament. Takayasu is back training and getting ready to come back. We'll see where he winds up being ranked when we look at the Banzuke. But he had a really great comment to the reporters when he was asking about how he was doing, and he was saying, well, I just had this problems, and other problems are going to pop up. And he said, I'm like a car with over 200,000 miles. I have to be careful, and I have to do proper maintenance.
Right. Yeah, apt.
Also, Abi pulled out of the Jungyo for the last couple of stops because of lower back pain.
Oh no.
In fact, it was so bad that he slept at the stable for a, I think a weekend or the better part of a week,
What? Because he
because
couldn't move or something, or
no,
what?
because he was afraid his kids would jump on him. He's got young kids, and if he
Oh.
stayed at home, that they would just kind of jump on him, and he
Well,
couldn't.
yeah. When
You know,
your dad's a sumo wrestler,
yeah.
the
But he
home is yeah.
apparently he couldn't. There, it was really bad. Like
Yeah, must
he couldn't
be.
get up and walk for one day, and he got treated with acupuncture, and that relieved the pain and has got him back on the track. But he told a reporter, he said to a reporter, at one point, I thought my career was over.
Oh man,
That
that's
that's
rough.
how bad his back pain was.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
those that's that's the injury report 2 weeks before the start of the tournament. So it's
Yeah.
just people are beat up.
Yeah, yeah. Now you did say you did start before you pause for just a second, but you said that the rest of the reports are just basically pain, aches and pains, and
Yeah,
nothing's like outright debilitating, but something more of a malaise, maybe more of an existential, gravity based pain.
for who?
Oh, I'm asking, like you had mentioned that, and I just wondered if we covered all the folks who were just kind of feeling pain.
Well, I'm sure they're all feeling pain. Those are the ones that have had reports done about how much pain they're feeling.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I'm
that makes
sure there
sense.
are other people that we know that are.
Well, me too.
But
I'm right there.
yeah,
Just general
yeah, I
aches
know.
and
I
pains.
got this thing in my shoulder. Um, another interesting thing. Tamawashi, the oldest guy in the division,
Yeah.
is he has had 1,628 consecutive bouts in his career, never having missed one. Um,
Right. Yeah, that's our
there's
Mr.
a little
Perfect
little
attendance.
bit of an asterisk on that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
But so he's three away from the record. Um, and so after, if he gets through day three, he will set the record for most consecutive bouts.
Well, that's historic. Who holds the record now? Some guy from the
Uh,
1800s or something?
no, someone else from a few years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there've been a lot of consecutive guys in recent years, but he's, you have to do it for, he's 39 years old, right? You got to do it a long time to get that many bouts.
Right. Yeah.
Um, this will also, that same win will, the person that had that record is also the eighth place in total bouts lifetime. So this will let him be, Tamawashi will become eighth all time in most bouts in a career.
Wow. Okay.
And several other records. Chris Sumo had a piece where he had a good segment of it was devoted to Tamawashi, and I recommend checking his channel out and seeing that, because he talks about all the various things that Tamawashi has done in his great career and what he's on the verge, what the records he's on the verge of breaking or
Well, that's
set.
interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'm always interested in sort of, especially our active Rikishi, what records they're breaking,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how what we're doing in this era of sumo, almost a sushi of sumo that is remarkable.
Sushi.
Broken world record.
Um, and here's another thing Chris Sumo had in one of his reports. The Kokugikan,
Mm-hmm.
which is the home of sumo, the building in Tokyo where all the Tokyo tournaments are held,
Mm-hmm.
is now 40 years old, going on 40 years old as a building,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they are starting to talk about building a new one. It is still referred to as the new Kokugikan because it replaced the one that had been there since the 20s.
Right. That's where the museum is and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but the Sumo Association is starting to put out plans for having a new Kokugikan somewhere in the next 20 to 30 years.
Wow. Okay.
So they've started talking about it, which means it's real.
Yeah. So, how much real property does the Sumo Association own?
I don't even know the answer to that. Given
Yeah.
the secret comings and goings, they probably own a lot of the Ryogoku neighborhood. And between
Sure.
the association itself and all of the heias and other buildings that the stables own, and I don't know if that counts as being owned by the Sumo Association too.
Right. But what about all the temples and?
Yeah. So a lot. There's a lot of property in uh, Tokyo proper, and mostly in the Ryogoku ward, um, that is owned directly or indirectly by the Sumo Association. But it's not all of it, and I'm not sure. I
Interesting.
mean,
Yeah, and having
I'm
just being an
not sure where
organization
they're
that.
going to build a new stadium. Right? I mean, as we've
Right.
seen, living in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
We remember when the at least I guess you remember when the Kingdom went down.
Kingdom. No, I'm not sure. I'm familiar with that. I'm far too young.
No, no, you're not.
No,
But
I'm not. Yeah.
um,
I have a piece of the kingdom. Yeah.
oh, do you? Do
Yeah.
you? Yeah, but they were building the stadium next to it, and they had to have room to build the stadium next to the old stadium, so that when the old one went down, they could start playing in the new one.
Right.
And that kind of space is hard to come by in Tokyo, even when
Oh
you own
yeah.
all the. So how they're going to manage that is probably why it's a 20 to 30 year plan. I cannot even begin to figure out how they're going to manage to build a new stadium, because I think they're going to want to keep it in the Ryogoku ward.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
are they going to get enough space for a stadium? And
And then, yeah, given the age of the architecture and
yeah,
just generally speaking, there's a lot of considerations.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things about Japan and Tokyo is that unlike here, it's only in the last 30 to 50 years that they've started building buildings that aren't intended to just last for a generation and then get replaced.
Ah, I
Um,
see.
so, and the old Ryogoku was one of those. I mean, that's 100 years ago, but that was a big, massive building that replacing it was very difficult. But a lot of the buildings in Tokyo proper, the expectation is in about 20 years they'll come down and get replaced by something else.
Interesting.
Um, but we're talking about something as big as a stadium that changes everything.
Yeah, yeah, those got to be a little stronger than the average.
Yeah, and you just need more property. You need so much more property.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yep, yep.
it doesn't go like it's amazing how quickly buildings will go up in Japan. How good they are at putting up a new building.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
boop 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 boop, new building there. Um, and I can't. You can't do that with a stadium. And not even the Japanese can do that with a stadium. So I don't know. That's a bit of like far-reaching news. This is nothing big is going to happen about this for 10 years at least.
Right, right.
But I'm really curious now. Like I'm gonna spend 10 years wondering about it.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they. Yeah, that's a long time to.
Yeah.
That's a whole career's worth of time.
Yes. All right. So that's where things. That's our news. Uh, so beyond that, the thing we've come to talk about is the Bonsuke. Bonsuke's out. We know where the rankings are.
Bonzooks.
So let's switch on over. Switch on over, and we're looking at. This is from the app, the Grand Sumo app, the Sumo Association's app. Uh, there's where things stand. I guess I should probably say that the new Fantasy Oyakata game is up,
Oh, hey, yeah, we
and
should do. Yeah.
I posted it on the Sumo Show Facebook group right before we started. I made a post about that
Oh, good,
with
good.
a link where to go, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show too. But
Nice.
these are where the rankings are. So for our champions level, we're down to just 3 people in that because there's only 2 Ozeki and 1 Yokozuna. Terunofuji, Kotozakura, and Hoshoryu, all of whom we were just talking about them being
Injured.
injured or in some kind of discomfort that makes them questionable. So I don't know what to say about this. If I had to bet right now, I would bet that Terunofuji's not going to fight, and I would bet that Hoshoryu is not as recovered as he wants us to think,
I imagine that to be the
and
case.
that
Yeah.
Kotozakura, despite having just missed 4 days because of searing back pain, is our best choice at the
Yeah. No,
champion
this is
level.
this is gonna be something.
Boy, just think about all we've been talking about the last year about the gear shift and how the recovery and how things are looking. And look at this compared to just 2 tournaments ago.
What a different Basho. Yeah, what a
Yeah.
difference a Basho makes. Yeah, that's something else. It's a
So,
different landscape.
Um, yeah. So, not much more to say about that champion level. On the Sanyaku level, we've got 4 Sekiwake this time because uh, Kirishima, having dropped from Ozeki, had a Kachikoshi, had a winning record, and so he gets to keep that Sekiwake rank on at this, along with the people who had earned their way up to get there. He earned his way to stay there after dropping down, and Takakeisho uh, was Makekoshi, had a losing record when he was Kadoban, threatened with demotion last tournament. So now he also has dropped down here. So he's there. He, in fact, is ranked the lowest of our 4 Sekiwake, is ex Ozeki Takakeisho. And
Interesting.
word is word flown around is that he has said in interviews that his neck is never going to be better. He's never going to be able to do what he used to do, but he's going to fight and he's going to do his best. And rumor mill strongly suggested if he does not get his 10 wins and earn a way back up to Ozeki, that he's going to retire after this tournament. That he's just out, and I don't blame him.
No, neither do I.
So this may be his last tournament. In fact, I think that might be the way to bet. Is that Takakeisho is this is going to be our last tournament. Let's enjoy him while we got him.
Yeah, yeah.
Hope he stays healthy for all 15 days of this one.
Yeah.
If he has to pull out, then he's really dropping down the Banzuke and he's retiring for sure. See, our other Sekiwake, our number 1 Sekiwake is Abi, who we were talking about before, having had back pain so bad he thought it was the end of his career.
Yeah, yeah.
Back pain so bad he can't be around his children.
That's rough.
And Onosato, who did not have a great tournament last time, but he was Sekiwake and he had a Kachikoshi. He had a winning record. And so yesterday or the day before, they have you know how they have those training where everyone comes to it, and very often the Yokozuna Deliberation Council and the Sumo Association members are there to watch them. Well, sometimes they're public and sometimes they're private. And this time it was private. No one was allowed to come and watch it. So there were reports out of it, but no one got to get photos or actually see what happened.
Interesting. Was there a particular reason why? What makes it not public?
We're talking about that mysterious politics. There was nothing they particularly wanted to show off, and I think that they wanted to yell at people in private. And
Yeah.
Onosato is one of the people that got yelled at. Apparently, reports
Oh.
say that several of the coaches were yelling at him that he doesn't practice hard enough. That he's got to get in there. He doesn't seem. He's not. Uh, you've seen the videos of that, how they work, right? Two guys will fight, and then when one guy wins, everyone else runs around saying, "Pick me next."
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't really run up. Like one of the coaches yelling at him, like, "You're right near him, and you didn't even raise your hand. You've got to do better than that."
Mm-hmm. Okay. Pressure's on.
Yeah, no, they're really kind of uh, pushing him. And the head of the Sumo Association, I believe, said something to the effect of, you know, he did okay, but he didn't. He was doing basic sumo. He's just doing basic sumo. He's got to do better than that. He's uh, um, he's just winning on uh, youthful energy is basically what he said, and that's he's got to
Well, I can't
got to
wait to.
practice. He's got to practice more. He's gotten a lot of them are harping on that.
Yeah.
He's got to practice more, and he's got to up his game beyond where it's at. And I mean, no one's like saying he's gotten a special prize every tournament that he's been in the top division. He's finished second and third in almost all of them too. So there's not a lot they can do to really kind of um,
Well, if they're giving him the business, I can't wait until hear what they said to Shodai.
well, again, there's a lot of that goes to that's the tough love
Yeah.
aspect
Yeah.
of it, right? That we expect more, and I'll tell you what, I think there's this whiff of desperation to it,
Yeah.
right? I think they really need him to to,
To be the first and
to
second
hurry up and
places.
mature.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We need you to.
To be the person.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. To rise
You're
up and
you're
be.
you're the next Anakin. You're the chosen one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes
So,
sense.
man, uh, woe betide us if he hurts himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he and that could happen anytime to any one of these guys. So
Oh, and statistically will.
and will, yeah. But right now, right, he's young, he's strong, he's the best of the top of his young class.
Yeah.
They need someone to step up and become the next Yokozuna. Please let it be him.
Please. Yeah. Right. Right.
So I think that's no small part in his getting uh, called out for special attention, as it were.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
They
but
criticize with such passion and vigor because they love.
right,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
At Komusubi, we've still got Daisho and Hiradomi are still there because there's no room for them to go up. We've got Abi and Onosato have earned their way up and are winning. And we've got two Exozeki plugging the lane too. So despite both of them having Kachikoshi in the summer tournament, in the July tournament, Daisho and Hiradomi just get to repeat at Komusubi.
This is when it's starting to get into the rougher part of the of the grouping, right? Like
Yeah.
this is
Oh yeah, this is it, right? You're at a point where you can't go up. There's no shifting around. There's only 4 spaces in front of you. In fact, if you're Komusubi, usually there's only 2 spaces in front of you.
Yeah.
And if they're all holding their spot, they don't want to have 6 Sekiwake.
Yeah. No, this will be right here is the very interesting breaking point. Like who's getting taken out, who's going to be taken out, by
Yeah.
or just going to opt out and leave some openings. That's
Right.
wild.
So if Daisho and Hiradomi continue to do well, the question becomes what happens if Takanosho also continues to do well at Tobizaru or
There
Oho
is.
and Atami Fuji? There's
Yeah.
just nowhere for any of them to go.
No, there isn't. Wild. That is a very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know about our Sekiwake and Komusubi. I might pick Onosato. I'll probably pick Onosato again. But Hirodumi, man, I got to stop ignoring him as much as I have been. Uh, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not convinced he's around for the long term, which is one reason. That pushing, thrusting, wild flailing style of his is very exciting and great when it works.
But not sustainable.
I don't know. I mean, Takakeisho made it a career out of it for the last 6, 8 years.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
not like you can't, but the odds are not in your favor.
Yeah, yeah.
And getting here and running into this brick wall of a log jam just just makes it more difficult. Again, because as Komusubi, he's going to have to fight all those guys above him in the first week. And we talk about that again, right? That that being ranked Komusubi and Maegashira 1 means that your your schedule is front loaded with the hardest people to fight. And you've got to scrabble out some wins in week 1 and then dominate in week 2, which is super hard to do.
Yeah.
That's what's happened to Atami Fuji. He's not been able to figure that out. I mean, it's not like he doesn't know it, but he hasn't been able to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at our top of the Maegashira, our upper Maegashira people are Takanosho, who looked so great last time. He finished second place in the tournament. Went to a playoff with the Yokozuna. Tobizaru back up here at Maegashira 1. Flying Monkey, maybe he's having another turn of that sparkly magic. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so.
Atami Fuji and Oho. Oho seems to have turned himself around and back to performing the way that he was touted to. So the question becomes now that he's up here again, he's going to have to start by fighting the tough guys in week 1. So this is a tough proving ground for him. And then we got Mitakeumi and Wakamoto Haru and Shodai. Look at Shodai
Look at
up here
that,
already.
Shodai. Wow.
And Koto Shoho. You know what? Sadly, Fred Pink has not posted his new chart yet, so we can't look at that. But when we do, you will see this gigantic leap for Shodai from where he was last time up to here.
Wow. Yeah, but what could that mean?
I think it means he's about to take a big dive down next time.
Pretty much.
Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Every time I say
much.
something about Shodai, he does the opposite.
Right, yeah. You can't pin him down. That's for sure.
I think he's just very spiteful towards me.
I think that's what it is. I think he listens to the show, he gets upset.
Yeah. Shodai and Koto Shoho and Uda and Shonan Naomi.
Oh. Shonanomi.
Those are our upper Maegashira grouping. So tough choice. Tough choices.
Yeah, that is tough.
And the best names are at the top of it in the toughest spots.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you who I'm not picking. I'm not picking Shodai.
Maybe I will.
Which means maybe you should, and he'll do it for you.
That's right. That's right.
Ride the sea bream, my friend.
I think ride the sea bream right into Lucky Town. Yeah.
Let's go to the middle Maegashira. We've got Meisei is dropped down here, and Gonoyama. And Wakataka Kage has earned his way all the way back up. He had a really good tournament down there in the lower sections last time, back from injury, fighting back the way we're hoping that Asanoyama will next year.
Right.
And Onosho will next year.
Yeah.
Well, here's another guy who has Wakataka Kage dropped down, and he's gotten back up here in his first tournament in the upper division again. He went. Let me just open up my thing here and see. Wakataka Kage went 11-4 last time, and so he leaps all the way from Maegashira 14 up to Maegashira 7. So hopefully he's ready, because
Yeah.
uh, um, when he injured himself, he was on the verge of maybe earning an Ozeki bid. He wasn't. He's a little small. He's a muscular guy, but I mean he could have done it. But so the question was at that point was, I don't know. Maybe he can. Maybe he can't. Oh, he's injured. Bagoom, 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 bagoom. Now he's
Right.
on his way back up, and so it's another guy that we're hoping he can get back to where he was before, get back up to Sekewake. But there's a lot of people trying to get to Sekewake these days.
Yeah, there is.
Um, Along with him is Chura Naomi. Maegashira 8, we've got Endo and Midori Fuji. Um, and 9, Ichi Yamamoto and Oshoma. Maegashira 10, Tamawashi, the Iron Man. They're talking about looking for him to get 3 matches in. Stay healthy for 3 matches.
Please, please. Yeah.
24 years and 3 matches. And Roga
Look at
got his
that.
first Kachikoshi in the top division,
All
and
right.
he went to 9-6 and jumps all the way up to Maegashira 10.
All right. Well, that is promising. I like the sound of that.
So this also a tough grouping to look at for our fantasy Oyakata game, for a different reason. In that, yeah, several of these guys could do good. Not sure who to bet on, and none of them seem. Maybe Takakage is the closest thing to. Oh yeah, he's on his way up.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Everyone else could do it. This is certainly, a bunch of them have fallen down a bit, where their schedules will be a little easier. Like Meisei and Gonoyama are hoping that they will, regroup here and go leaping back up. Endo. He's he's old, and well, I mean, he's not old, but he never wanted to work hard enough to begin with. I don't really. I would say he's on the list of, yeah, probably don't pick Endo.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
but Midori Fuji, we know, is
Uh
the
huh.
tiny little scrapper gets inside and goes on these terrific runs of 5 and 6 wins in a row. Could be. Um,
I
Ichi
hope.
Yamamoto.
I'm hoping that for Roga, this is a trend.
Yeah,
Yeah. Who you mentioned someone else? Sorry, you said Ichi Yamamoto.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ichi Yamamoto. I don't know what to think about him. I don't know. He's one of those guys that I'm blanking on the retired wrestler who I want to compare him to, but this guy who's got a good body and a pretty good style and just underperforms a lot for no apparent reason. Um, he seems to hover around the 50-50 level, which is dangerous, because you, half the time you're really going. That's where life as an elevator rickshaw lives. So you're always
Yeah.
50-50. So sometimes you're going up a little, sometimes you're going down a little, but you're never really making great strides.
And sometimes you're going up a little, and sometimes you're going down a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're almost never going up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, so then we go down a bit, and we'll see our lower Maegashira people, and we've got start with Sadanomi and Kageyaki at Maegashira 11. Kageyaki just came back to the top division last time, and where is he? Where is he? He went 9-6 at Maegashira 16, and looked better than he has in a long time. Like he's the last 2 or 3 years has lived down in that Maegashira 13 or and lower, or Injurio, and he's just been kind of flip flopping back and forth. He came back last time and went 9-6, was kind of a surprise. Um, so he's up here. He looked pretty good too. He's another guy he's got a big body, but just doesn't seem to have the big skill. He's just
Got
he's
you.
just got good skill. I mean, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with him. I wouldn't want to rag on him
Well,
too
and
hard.
still, we're talking about the top of the top of the
Yeah, yeah.
top of the yeah.
These are the top 42 in the world.
I mean,
So,
that's not
yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
All right. So then at Maegashira 12, we got Bushozan and Kinbozan. Uh,
Both the ozons.
the two Ozans. Kinbozan from Kazakhstan. Um, there's another guy. I think we talk about this most tournaments that everyone kind of has predicted great things for him, and he's not. He has a couple little nagging injuries, and he's 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 one of those people where his glass ceiling that he needs to break through, or his level that he needs to learn to be beyond, is about Maegashira 6, 7, around there.
Yeah.
That's about his best right now, and he's got to figure out what the next great advancement is. Um, and say he's a guy that insiders for a long time had pegged him as, oh, this guy could be an Ozaki. This guy's got what it takes, but he's got to unlock some secret.
Some inner spark.
But here at Maegashira 12, a good spot for him to have a good tournament. Hokuto Fuji and Nishikigi, two older guys who are fighting the older guy blues. And doing really well. Nishikigi or Hokuto Fuji had a great year 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, and has been stumbling through this year. Um, you never know whether that means he's gone for good or he's just waiting to get on another run.
Right.
Nishikigi really seems like he's lost a step somewhere along the line. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have no reason to believe that he won't do well here at the bottom. I don't think he's in danger of dropping out of the top division. But there was a while, a year or so ago, where it looked like he might become a someone that was set in like the Maegashira 7 to 5 range, and he's certainly not fighting that way now. Maegashira 14, we've got Ryuden, who doesn't seem to be able to win if he's ranked over Maegashira 10.
Right.
uh, but he's here. And a new guy,
I was gonna say, who's
Onokatsu.
this person? Yeah.
Onokatsu is a new guy. He is a college competitor of Onosato's, and in fact, in his final year in college competition, Onokatsu beat Onosato for the college championship.
Oh wow! So will they be
So
bringing that rivalry to the fore here, or?
it certainly is being reported. Yeah, he's saying that in the reporting he was saying he's very much he wants to do well, and he's saying I want to get 10 wins and a special prize, but what I really want is to fight Onosato.
Okay, so they're definitely playing that up. Yeah, interesting. Okay,
So he's maybe our mystery guy with a possible strong run here at the bottom. We always look for someone in the bottom section who's better than that and can get a really great first week.
Yeah,
and then hopefully springboard that into an unlikely run at a U show. And he may be it, but this is his first tournament in the top division.
so we'll get to watch him unfold and see what happens. Yeah,
Among other things, although this photo clearly he doesn't have a top knot, he said that also in interviews that he hopes to be able to make his first standard top knot, not the fancy one, before the tournament's over. He's hoping that one day before this tournament he will be able to have wear a top knot.
Well, there we go.
So he's coming back in every night and taking all his vitamins, going to bed, and thinking, "Grow hair, grow,
trying to push it out." Yeah. Speaking of someone who's going the opposite direction, Takara Fuji, His is about to just fall
Yeah.
off the top of his head.
But his is like, stay here, stay.
Stay.
All right. And so then at Maegashira 15, we got Takayasu. We were talking about our 200,000-mile car.
Yeah, yeah.
He also, he tore his pec. I don't know if you remember from last
I
tournament.
do. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember that.
So apparently not fully healed, but he's coming back again because he doesn't want to drop out of the top division. But he says he seems to be doing fine. It's not fully healed, but it's not bothering him at the moment. If he's healthy, he's another guy who could make a really good run at a week one down here at this level.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure that he really is that healed up. We've seen a couple people come in with pectoral tears recently. Those take a while to heal up.
It's made me a little slightly nauseous. Just the idea of just tearing a pectoral muscle. Ouch.
On same rank with him, we got Takada Fuji, who's still hanging in there. He doesn't want to drop out of the top division again.
Or drop his top knot.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Below that, we've got Shirokuma, who won Juryo. We watched those on the final day videos last time. We watched the Juryo matches.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the guy that won Juryo last time.
Got it.
His name Shirokuma means white bear.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
so this is the white bear, and
The white bear's here.
everyone loves him. He's another one of those popular favorites, and kids love him because they like the name. Right? It's like being the polar bear. He's a white bear. And then we got Kita Nowaka and Nishiki Fuji. Nishiki Fuji, such a lucky guy, so damn lucky, because the people at the top of the Juryo division didn't do well by and large last time. So all of our winners, you may recall, most of the people in that were down around Juryo 8 and Juryo 10.
Yeah.
People at the top of Juryo last time did not do that great. So there aren't a lot of people coming up. Nishiki Fuji was Maegashira 17 last time and had a Magekoshi. And he still doesn't fall down. They're keeping him up for one more try. So lucky guy. Lucky
guy.
Nishiki Fuji.
Let's hope he can perform. And not likely.
Who knows? I mean, he's someone who belongs around this level. This is his 50-50 level, is the bottom bottom of the Maegashira Banzuke top division. So he could probably, he could very easily go 8-7, maybe 9-6. But I think that he's one of those guys that we're very likely to see being 7-7 on day 15.
Right, right.
Yes. So that's what the Banzuke looks like. Let's undo that. Come back to stand.
What do you want back to you?
Yeah. We don't need to look at this anymore. Right. There I am. Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, that's the way things look. As I say, I've got the Fantasy Oyakata game set up. The link is in the Sumo Show Facebook group right now. And you have
close it because it was running so slow for me. So apologies, Facebook, if we're missing comments from you, but we do love you.
We do. We love you very much.
Yeah.
So that's going on. You have until a week from tomorrow, until the 7th of September, noon Pacific time, to get your
picks,
your Heya picked. Get your take on the role of a fantasy Oyakata.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We're hoping that it was summertime. There were not as many people in the game last time, which was fine, right? We had an underdog come up and finish second, as I recall.
That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. In a stunning upset.
And our former champion finished dead last.
I know who. I mean, this wild.
It's
It's absolutely
topsy-turvy.
wild.
So what'll happen this time? Anyone could be the winner, even you.
Even you. Yeah, we'll post it around too. We'll get it over on the Sumo. Make sure all the Mary Marys and Yuki Yukis have
Yeah.
are
We
invited
wanna
to.
all the Yuki Yukis get a chance.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm putting myself into the Zen state of picking, and I shall come through. Well, given all the time that we have, I'm certain to do it before the very last minute on the very last day.
yeah, that seems highly likely. Uh,
Certainly.
uh,
Ay.
remember, you can change what you put in. If you put in something now and we find out later, you can go in and change your entry.
Like what?
Right
Like
up
mid?
until noon on
Oh,
the 7th.
not the middle of the Basho?
No, not the middle of the
Because
box.
I have some
No,
changes
because
to make.
if that was true, I wouldn't have finished dead last.
That's right. That's right.
But
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm eyeing that first place. I'm eyeing it.
you know what? I want it for you. Not as much as I want it for myself, but I want it.
I like that. A diminished but
Right.
existing amount of want.
I mean, if I can't have it,
Yeah.
I don't want you.
Well, thank you. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I also want Dave Lemon to have it. I want Dale to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want me to have it. But
I hear you.
we're all
hear
good
you.
sports here. We want all the best for everyone, but mostly me.
Indeed, it's all for fun
It is fun.
and bragging rights, and that's what Troy is showing us right now.
That's right. That's exactly right. You get to take a couple victory laps, even if you're number 2.
You're just on the inner track, is what.
That's exactly right. But I'm no longer in the middle. I'm no longer one of those sort of, what do we call them? The
Also
yo-yo. What'd you say?
Oh, the elevator rickshaw.
Elevator rickshaw. Yeah, that's what you say. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows what could happen? It's anybody's guess, but mostly my guess.
Well, it needs to be your guess, and you've got 8 days to guess that guess.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
So join us next week when I say, Troy, for God's sake, pick your team.
That's about the size of it. Yeah, so we're on next Friday, right?
Next Friday, we will be back with, it'll be the Friday right before the tournament starts.
Oh, yeah, you won't want to miss it.
So you want to come back and find out what's going to happen. I mean, we don't really know, but we'll pretend we do and make lots of wild guesses.
Yes, and we'll get at least a good 60% right.
Yeah. You know what? As I say, I don't talk about it a lot here, but I know I've told you that I do every day. I pick all the matches and I track how well I do. And 60% is what I do.
That's right.
On average. Yeah. That's my average. Which so not bad. Not bad.
No, not bad at all. I mean, not bad at all. But I accept that score for the team.
Yeah.
By osmosis, I too get 60%.
Why not?
Why not? Hey, you listener, you too can claim stake your claim to the 60%.
Everyone here, everyone who watches the show, you're part of the 60%.
That's right. That is right. Aim for the middle, friends. Aim for the middle. Well, what are we thinking? Are we feeling like
I mean, normally we would look at a Fred Pink graph, but those are not up yet.
No, he's not up yet. He'll send that. He's always good too about sending it to us via email when it's ready to go. So yeah.
It's summertime. He's probably having fun doing something.
Going to a concert. Went to concerts.
Yeah.
You can see a breakdown of the concerts of Fred Pink when you go
concerts
there.
Of Fred Pink.
Yeah. Updated 6/26/23. So
that was his last date for the update on the Sumo. So he hasn't done anything on the.
It is summertime. Yeah.
It's summertime.
It is summertime.
We took a lot of time off this summer. We can't begrudge him any.
Yeah. What does he say? Oh, yeah. It looks like July 28th was his last.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his last update. I posted the first version of the July Basho results.
Oh.
Terunofuji now has 10 Emperor's Cups.
Woohoo!
Yeah. All righty.
He
Well,
doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, there aren't 10 emperor. There's one Emperor's Cup. He's held. He's been able to take it home for a month 10 times.
so it's not like
He doesn't get to keep
shelf. Not a shelf of Emperor's
In fact,
Cups.
he doesn't really get to take it. It goes back to the stable, and they get to hold it there. I don't. And for all I know, they may actually mostly keep it at the Kokugikon anyway.
Does he not get
Fall
to have any kind of
ceremony.
a drink out of it or anything?
Not out of the Emperor's Cup, no.
Why not? Why? What's it
Well,
for then?
it's huge. I mean, it's a big trophy. It's not.
Oh, he's
It's
a
not
big
a cup.
guy.
It's
It's not a cup. It's
it's. I mean, like even the Stanley Cup only has a little. The top of the Stanley Cup is a bowl.
I
Right?
see.
That's
So the
when they're
Emperor's Cup
drinking
is.
out of that. The Emperor's Cup is like, think of one of those big urn trophies that you get that you get little mini ones.
Oh, I've got a waffle. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, this one's actually big.
Interesting. I'm going to do a quick little search before we go. And oh, yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, there's one with Shodai. It looks like he could get inside of it.
That's where the bream stays. That's where sea.
Yeah, it's sea. Yeah, it swims around. And that's a lot. Yeah. Well, I mean, it would quench a thirst.
Yeah. You would
Alrighty.
not be thirsty if you drank from that.
Nope. It would not be. Shall we?
All right. I think we've done as much damage as we can for one night.
Wow. Hold on tight. Here come the drums.
You have been listening to The Sumo Show, a live weekly podcast about the art and sport of sumo. Your hosts tonight have been Stan Brown and Troy Hewitt. Production by Troy Hewitt. Sommeliering by Stan Brown. And Initial Charge by Tachi I Troy.
Hi.
So until next week, we say to you, Ja mata ne.
Bye.